Alright, thanks Kevin. I'm glad we were able to help. Good morning, y'all. It is July, and I am over at Ravenwood Farm. I've been out here since 6 a.m. They put a call out to Nelson. All that silage over there, that is all spoiled. I'm not sure what happened to it, if the wrap was weak and moisture got in, or I don't know exactly what happened, but they put out a call. They need a boatload of silage for their cows, and they were paying top dollar for it. So I've been trucking silage out here, 22,000 liters at a time. I've brought something like 135,000 liters of silage out here. They were paying $570 for every 1,000 liters. So I made close to $80,000, and I got to help them out, which is nice. Ravenwood has been pretty good to me. They gave me some contracts early on, and I feel bad about Nelson coming to work for me. So it's nice to be able to give back a little, and that helps me out. I have started the site prep over near the farmer's market for that new property, and let's just drive by there and I'll show you what we've done so far. That is going to be a pricey proposition, so I really do need the money for this. Let's just swing in here. So yeah, I've been working with an architect, I think I mentioned. We've got this more or less level here. I think there's still some spots they need to work on, honestly. We've got some asphalt down, and they've put in some plumbing and electrical underneath, so the foundation is ready and it's just curing now before we start building on it. Next month, I think they're gonna try to put this up. This has been very expensive to do the site prep for this, and it's going to be a pretty expensive build. We estimate all in it's going to cost over $400,000 to house multiple employees here, have a little parking area for them, so that's not cheap. That is almost half of the money that I have now. So I'm glad I was able to make a little extra here, helping out Ravenwood. And I also got the site prep started at the same time for the sugar factory that I'm having put in. As you know, I've got these sugar beets I'm growing, and I'm going to need a factory to process them. I'm just putting it over there on that property I own near the new building I put up across from the dairy, at the end of my fields near the wall. I don't know who's going to run it yet. Hopefully one of the new workers I'm able to recruit can run it for me. I might be able to talk Javon into doing it temporarily, since his factory got destroyed. Still working on cleaning that up. I've just been coming by every now and again, hauling out a load or two. We're making progress. It's not done yet, but I guess I should have led with this. I have some good news, and I want to put this out here. Well, I have been told that Frontier Security has no footage about what happened over there. Frontier Security are not the only people with video cameras. In fact, a lot of people who are driving these days have cameras in their vehicles. And somebody saw my last video and let me know that they had been driving by the factory around the time all of that stuff went down, and they have video footage that corroborates my theory about who was involved. Now, I have not done anything about this yet. I wanted to say here on these videos because I think the people who I'm worried about are watching them. And I want to put it out there that I have video footage. I have that note. I have some footage from when they came out to my property before of their car and their license plate. So all of this stuff can be tied together now. And I would really just like them to leave me alone. I don't want to cause undue trouble for them. Well, I kind of do, but I'd rather just know that we can put all this behind us. So maybe I'll put this over here. So I really just want them to back off. If I have to, I will take this footage to Frontier Security, press charges, try to get something more permanent done about it. But I don't have to do that yet. So if they would just stop coming around here and saying I owe somebody money, which I don't, then, and they don't cause any more harm to anybody I care about, then I can make that footage disappear. And we can just sort of write it off as a loss. So yeah, if you guys are watching, let me know what you want to do. It is July and the canola is ready to harvest. It's looking great, in fact. So my plan for today is to hop in the harvester and get this all taken care of. Check it out. Looking good. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do with the canola now. But sure, yeah, let's hop in and harvest it. My tractor's over there. I've got the lime spreader set up so I can spread lime on that field back there. And I'll check and see if this field needs lime after I harvest the canola. And get that done, and maybe I'll get some slurry and manure on these two fields to get them fertilized before planting next month. So yeah, I will see you in just a minute in a time lapse. See you soon. Okay, that harvest is all done, and I've got the tractor over here with the lime spreader hooked up. Lime spreader is full. I put the canola in the silo for now. Not entirely sure what I'm going to do with it, actually. Javon thought he might be able to retrofit some of the equipment he had in the factory, the flour factory, to deal with canola, but it turns out that factory doesn't exist anymore. So I'm going to need to put some feelers out and try to figure out what to do with that canola. We'll see what happens. I got a little over 37,000 liters of canola off that field, which the yield for that seems a little low to me, and it's actually still really cold here. It's below 40 degrees right now at 10:30 a.m. in July. This is very uncharacteristic. Like, you see all the dirt around here and the sand. It's kind of like a desert out here, at least it was when I first moved out here. So this year has been really different than the weather in the prior years. I don't know if that has affected the yield on my fields. I don't know if that'll affect my other crops. I don't know if they like heat or not. So yeah, curious what the effect of that will be. I will get into this tractor and we'll get another time lapse going to get the lime on these fields, and then I'll head across the street to check in on the manure and slurry that I've got over with my animal pens and see if I have enough to fertilize these fields. I did get my soil sampling kit out and check that canola field that I just harvested, and it also needs lime. So I need lime on both these fields and fertilizer too, if I would like to turn these around and get them planted with fall crops in the next month or two. So that's my plan. Let's get into it. Okay, I don't know if I will leave the video in what I publish, but these fields are all set. They're ready to go. I've got manure on that one and a mix of manure and slurry on this one. I ran out of manure partway through, unsurprisingly. The critters are doing a good job of producing stuff for me, so I'm not having to buy much fertilizer, which is nice. There was a lot of weeds in this field, and I had my foreman working on that. I had him just bring the weeder over and clean it up. I was just worried with that direct drill, if the weeds are too thick, I was worried it wouldn't be able to make good contact with the soil and seed next month. So I just had him go over it with the weeder. And I have been authorized. I can now tell you who my foreman is. I have not been able to talk about it because he's had family stuff going on. But, yeah. I guess he's ready. So, the guy who I hired as my foreman, who's going to be running sort of as my second in command and helping out supervising my staff of workers that I'm planning to hire once I get that building set up, is none other than Jenny's oldest brother, Jacob. So now I'm employing 3 of the Johnson kids. Jacob is my foreman, Jenny is running the farmer's market for me, and Justin is over at the pizzeria running that for me. This is a bit of awkward because their dad is not super happy that 3 of the kids have chosen to work with me instead of following in family business at Johnson's Farmers Market and whatever other stuff they've got going on there. The 2 middle boys, Jimmy and Jonathan, are still working over at the farmers market, Johnson's Farmers Market, with their dad, but everybody else works for me now. So awkward. Honestly, the more I hear about him from the kids who are working with me, the more I understand he's squandered his relationship with his kids. Dude is hasn't handled his wife's passing very well and hasn't done a great job of letting go of the kids. He's kind of a control freak, and that makes it very difficult for them to establish their own identities or their own mark on the business that they're supposed to be inheriting from him. So I've given them plenty of leeway to do whatever they think is best working for me. I really need talented people who are able to take their roles and run with them, and that has worked out in my favor and to his detriment. So yeah, Jacob is running my workers for me when I get them. For now, he's just doing a lot of logistic stuff and sort of handling the other parts of the farm while I'm doing other things. So this is where the sugar factory is going to go up. I've got the foundation in, and they've got the plumbing and electrical lines in for this. The foundation is just curing before they put a giant honking building on it. So I think they're going to work on constructing that in the next month or 2 on top of the other building. Different people doing the factory versus the housing unit in the town for me. But yeah, I've got a lot of expensive buildings coming up soon, so that's fun. I was over here just a little bit ago moving butter and sugar from the dairy across the way into our new refrigerated storage, which is a good thing to have in general, but with it being so cold out here, it's still just over 40 right now. The refrigerated storage isn't actually that much cooler than the outside. But yeah, I'm taking care of it. Nelson, I ran over a load of milk for the dairy here, and Nelson's in the dairy now working on some more cheese. I know I've been saying I'm not sure what Nelson's plans are don't know if he's planning to keep working for me, helping me out with the cows and the dairy, or going to Ravenwood. I guess he overheard me saying that, or saw one of my videos where I said it, and he got kind of annoyed about it. He says he has no plans to go back to Ravenwood. He really loves working in the dairy here, and once Jacob hires some helpers, at least one of them is going to be helping out with the animals, so Nelson can focus more on the dairy, and he'll probably still oversee the cows, but I think it's going to be the helper's job to do a lot of the more physical labor. So I think Nelson is happy to be in a sort of more supervisory role soon. I've been doing a lot of the animal work now to sort of free him up to work in the dairy. I think that's working out for him. So I'm happy to say Nelson's going to be staying, including living out here. So I don't know what that means for him and Lisa. I think they're still trying to patch things up, but maybe they're just going to live apart now? I don't know. She is still very much angry at me for whatever happened to Leo, which Leo is still not talking about. I don't know that firsthand. I've heard that from Nelson, because Leo is also not talking to me. So Lisa and Nelson are still not seeing eye to eye over that whole situation. Nelson is pretty angry that Lisa's still blaming me, but obviously he doesn't want anything to have happened to his son. It's a whole mess. The writing that I found in this field over here, these soybeans are looking very good. I call it writing because I have sent it off to a few places. I took some video of it and some pictures, some aerial shots with the drone, and a university in town that has studied sort of ancient writing and linguistics has identified that it is in fact writing. Kind of. There are some irregularities with it. Some of it definitely looked like writing, but some of it looked kind of like random screed. And the way the glyphs appeared in sequence with one another was kind of a little bit nonsensical, they said. They're still working on trying to figure it out. It doesn't match anything they know from any sort of like ancient language, but it does seem to be actually writing and actual language. So I'm really curious what that is going to turn up. There have been a few alerts in the city, but I have not gotten any notification of them out here. So the whole story that the alert system has been fixed and I should now be hearing about them, it seems to be a made-up load of crock, because I'm not hearing jack. But I also haven't heard a peep from any strange sounds or anything, even when the alerts have been called. So I'm uncertain what to think about that. Interestingly, Nelson, whose house is right here next to the city wall, and Jacob and Javon over there near the gates, they are getting the alerts, but I'm not. So I don't know if there's a proximity, if you have to be really close to the wall, and whatever they thought they did to fix the geofencing just can't extend out to my farm, my main yard, I don't know. But yeah, I have been in touch with Kendra about why that's still happening that way. I don't know if Frontier Security even plans to do anything else about it, because Leo was sort of the one who was advocating for me, and now he's not working there anymore, at least temporarily. I don't know. And obviously, with us not being together anymore, I don't know that he would even be advocating for me anymore. So that's kind of confusing, and I don't know what to do about it. But I guess no alert, no problem. Yeah, it'll be fine. On that note, I think that's everything I need to do on camera for now. sure there's lots of stuff to keep me busy otherwise. But I will catch y'all next month. Ta-ta for now.